Hello everyone and welcome into Coach Craig's Sports. This is the NBA DFS video for today, Tuesday, January 2nd. So it's going to be the second day of 2024. Unfortunately, he was not able to make a video yesterday with everything going on New Year's and everything, but do kind of apologize for that. Hopefully you guys had some pretty good luck yesterday. But with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel, checking out for the very first time, first of all, welcome in. Second of all, this is how today's video will be structured. So we'll be going over the injuries and play for all 6 games on tonight's slate overall. And then we'll get over to DraftKings and FanDuel and talk about my core picks on each side. It's going to be one player at each position. So point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. Those picks could very much change throughout the day, so make sure you're checking up in the comments down below for my updated core. Although, at least the way it looks early on today, not a lot of injuries out there, but hopefully that changes because there's not a lot of value on this slate overall either. Could ultimately end up making it a pretty yucky slate overall. And then we are going to start off with those injuries in play. So for the Chicago Bulls, we got Batum, Torrey Craig, Zach LaVine, and Nikolai Vucevic all out once again. So no real changes here for this Bulls team overall. For the Philadelphia 76ers, they get Joel Embiid back for this game. They got Nick Batum back in their most recent game. And now DeAnthony Melton's out for them. So safe to assume that Kelly Oubre is still in the starting lineup. And then we'll see one of Marcus Morris or Nick Batum enter that starting lineup. Who that is kind of remains to be seen, but they could ultimately end up being a decent value option on this 6-game slate where there's not a lot of value on tonight's slate overall. Then we move over to the Nets, who are without Ben Simmons and Lonnie Walker once again. And then we have Dorian Finney-Smith. Alyssa is probable to play for tonight's game, just been dealing with some knee soreness, but he should be good to go and has been in the starting lineup as of late. And then for the New Orleans Pelicans, Matt Ryan remains out. Trey Murphy is listed as questionable to play tonight due to his knee injury. If he's unable to go, Herb Jones is going to look a little bit better. You might see a couple extra minutes for a guy like Najee Marshall. Maybe Dyson Daniels gets a couple extra minutes as well, or a little bit more in that rotation since he's kind of been out of it as of late. And then for the Boston Celtics and the Oklahoma City Thunder, both these teams appear to be all the way healthy at this point in time. And then we move down to the San Antonio Spurs. We have Zach Collins out once again. Keldon Johnson listed as probable to play due to a back injury, but has been coming off the bench as of late. And then for the Grizzlies side, we just have Brandon Clark out tonight, honestly. So pretty simple for them. They're getting pretty healthy at this point in time and actually playing a little bit better basketball as of late since getting Ja Morant back and some of these other guys getting healthy. For the Orlando Magic, they're without Jonathan Isaac and Joe Ingles once again. Markelle Fultz is listed as questionable to play tonight. We'll see ultimately whether or not he comes back. Obviously, he's been dealing with that knee injury a long time this season. It seems like he was out for a little while, played for a little while, and then was out for a good stretch of games here once again. We'll see ultimately whether or not he ends up starting, and then if he starts, that probably kicks Anthony Black back to the bench, and just kind of has a domino effect on guys like Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Anthony Black, Gary Harris, you name it. So a lot of different guys there that could be affected by his return. And then on the Wizards side, we just got Draymond Green out once again due to his suspension. And then we move down to Charlotte Hornets. They are the lone team on the back-to-back today, so we did see Gordon Hayward and Terry Rozier obviously missed yesterday. Mark Williams has been dealing with that back injury for a while. LaMelo Ball and Frank Ntilikina have both been out for some time. So we'll see what their injury report looks like as the day moves along. We'll get that at some point later this afternoon. And then on the Kings side, they're all the way healthy at this point in time. So that's kind of a quick little rundown on all the injuries in play. Not too much out there today. Mainly it's the Markelle Fultz news and the Trey Murphy news. We'll see if anything else pops up with that Charlotte Hornets injury report as it comes out this afternoon, or if we get any other news throughout the day. But looking like a pretty tough slate, at least early on today overall. But with that being said, we'll move over to DraftKings and talk about my core picks for today. So on the DraftKings side tonight, I have De'Aaron Fox at that point guard spot. Point guard was kind of a difficult one for me, but going against the Charlotte Hornets tonight looks like a pretty favorable matchup. $9,600, pretty fair, respectable price tag. You're looking for at least 48 out of him. He's averaging 49.5 so far in the season. Think he has pretty strong upside to get you 49.50 tonight, so that's going to be a pretty good value at that point guard spot. There's probably going to be somebody that beats him out there today, whether it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Steph Curry, Ja Morant, somebody else like that on a point per dollar basis, or, somebody that's even lower, like a Kobe White or somebody like that. But De'Aaron Fox looks like a pretty solid, safe play. And, he's in the last game of the night, too. So if you have him in that point guard spot, somebody else pops up throughout the day that looks better, you could always swap him off to somebody else at the same time as well. And then we have Josh Giddey at shooting guard. He has $5,600, looking for at least 28 out of him, averaging just under that so far in the season. It's been a really weird year for him, both on and off the court. We're not going to dive too much into that, but his minutes have kind of been down this season for the most part. They're kind of bumping back up a little bit as of late. He is a good fantasy point per minute guy when he does get those minutes. So if he's out there, if he's playing well, he's going to look really good at $5,600. Currently, I'm projected for about 28, 29 points tonight. Definitely could have a little bit of upside for more, and definitely does have some downside for less at the same time as well. And then at small forward, we're going with Franz Wagner, $7,500. Been playing really well as of late, been playing really big minutes as of late. And the pace up spot tonight against the Golden State Warriors. So you're looking for at least 38 out of him. He's averaging 37.5 so far in the season. Do have him currently projected for about 40 to 41 tonight, so look like one of the better value options on today's slate overall. And then at power forward, we're going to go with Zion Williamson. He's been playing bigger minutes. He's been playing reasonably well as of late, $7,800. Looking for at least 39 out of him. Just about what he's averaging so far in the season. Nothing to write home about in this matchup against the Nets, but it is a team that could struggle a little bit defensively versus him, body type wise. You get some Dorian Finney-Smith on him, probably a decent chunk of the game, but Zion could bully him a little bit if he really wants to in this game. So currently I have Zion projected for 40 points, has a little bit upside for more, has a little bit of downside for less, but looks like a solid play at his price tag today, respectively. And then last but not least, we have center Trace Jackson Davis for this Golden State Warriors team. They're going against Orlando tonight. $4,600. He's been playing bigger minutes and been playing really well as of late. So looking for at least 23 out of him. Currently I'm projected for 28. Pretty reasonable matchup against the Orlando Magic tonight. Obviously, if he maintains on the trajectory he's been on as of the last couple of games, going to look like one of the better value plays on tonight's slate overall. But with that being said, most of the value today is at that center position, whether it's him, Joel Embiid, Nick Claxton, a couple other guys here and there as well. So definitely a spot that we can take advantage of, probably playing two centers more times than less on the FanDuel side tonight. But with that being said, if you go with these five players that I do have listed, you have $14,900 remaining, just under $5,000 remaining per player. So once again, like I said, not too much value out there at this point in time. Hopefully a little bit more opens up as the day moves along, but might ultimately end up looking a little bit more like a balanced build type of day overall. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my core picks over there as well. So on the FanDuel side tonight, we're going to go with point guard Stephen Curry for the Golden State Warriors, $8,500. He is going against the Orlando Magic tonight, who have struggled against that guard position quite a bit so far this season. And, at that $8,500 price tag, we're looking for 42, 43 at the minimum out of Steph Curry. He's averaging about 40 so far on the season. Hasn't been doing the greatest as of late, but, part of that's down a little bit too because he's operating more as just a shooter, then kind of a little bit more of a facilitator, but obviously Draymond Green being out should help that out a little bit. But then, Chris Paul getting some extra minutes at that, and he's just so good in that facilitator role. So Steph's playing a little bit more off the ball. Kind of hurts him a little bit fantasy-wise, but, he cannot go out there and score 30-plus real-life points on any given slate. So do like him tonight. Currently I'm projected for about 43, 44, but definitely does have some upside for more. It's a really strong matchup against the Orlando Magic tonight. Then at shooting guard, we're going to go with Malik Monk here at $5,800. Kind of an up-and-down season for him. He's been dealing with a little bit of a foot injury here and there, and his minutes kind of got limited for a little while there, but looked to be back in the most recent game, $5,800. If he's going out there and playing the way he has the past two games, he's going to be a value at this price tag. Looking for 29 out of him. Currently, I'm projected for 30 tonight, but definitely has some pretty strong upside for more as well. Then a small forward, it just kind of got to be the position where I didn't really like a lot of guys. You could go with Franz Wagner on the FanDuel side as well, but he's a little bit more expensive over here. Still looks like a decent projection. Ultimately ended up on Patrick Williams, $5,700, looking for 28, 29 out of him. Currently, I'm projected for 28 tonight. If you want to play somebody else in this spot, go right ahead. I'm not going on a limb for Patrick Williams by any means, but I think he's a decent value on tonight's slate. Has a little bit of upside, but definitely has some pretty strong downside at the same time as well. And then at power forward, we're going to go Trace Jackson Davis at $5,600. If he's out there, if he's getting those minutes and playing like he has in the past couple games, going to look pretty good for him. Do like the matchup against Orlando tonight as well. Looking for 28 fantasy points out. Currently what I do have him projected on the FanDuel side at this point in time as well. And last but not least, we got Nick Claxton, $7,300. At this price tag, we're looking for 36, 37 out of him. Looks like one of the better center values on today's slate overall, especially when you consider like Andre Drummond priced all the way up to $9,200, which he still could very much outperform. Joel Embiid's $12,100 on FanDuel. So coming back off the injury makes it a little bit tighter price tag for him. Nick Claxton would be the guy to get to personally today at $7,300. I currently have him projected for about 37 fantasy points. So, so he's a decent 5X type of play today. He could go out there and definitely outperform that, especially if he's getting like some steals and blocks, which is something he's been known to do in the past. But, at the same time, he could also get into some foul trouble against Zion Williamson and Jonas Valanciunas, and then maybe this ends up being a big Duran Sharp game. So a lot of different ways that we can approach the 6-game slate just in general. But if you go with these 5 players that I do have on FanDuel tonight, you have $27,100 remaining, just under $6,800 per player. So a little bit of room and flexibility there. You probably could play up for one other player if you really want to, and then kind of find some value throughout the slate, which there's not a lot of value out there once again, but it should make for a pretty interesting slate overall. Obviously, if there's any other injury news throughout the day that could very, very much change the nature of this slate. But with that being said, these are my core picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings for today, January 2nd. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to drop them down in the comments and I will get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, please note whether those questions are more FanDuel or DraftKings specific, just so I can best help you as quickly and efficiently as possible. And then with that being said, I will list all the injury updates as they do come out throughout the day, as well as the starting lineups as they do come out throughout the night as well. And then last but not least, I will have my updated core out about 15 to 20 minutes prior to lock. That will be left as a pinned comment. If there's no changes to the core at that point in time, I'll just leave a pinned comment that says no changes to the core at this point in time. If there's any other additional changes to that core after that part, I will leave them as a reply to that pinned comment as well. But with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel, checking out for the very first time, or have yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now we have NBA DFS Monday through Friday in terms of the core pick videos. Been slacking a little bit more on the NFL DFS side, but I did share my player pool in the community section. And then as always, my NFL DFS cheat sheets were up on the sports affiliation website. So definitely be sure to check those out on a weekly basis. But obviously, only one more week of NFL DFS for the regular season, which is the part that I do cover in general. And then last but not least, if you're interested in sports betting, if you're interested in prop betting whatsoever, be sure to check out the links and promo codes down in the description below for BetUS, Prize Picks, and Parlay Play. If you are a brand new user on any one of those three sites, when you make your initial deposit, you will get a first match deposit bonus. For Prize Picks and Parlay Play, it's 100% of your bonus up to $100. For BetUS, it's 125% of your initial deposit up to $2,500. So some pretty great opportunities to be had out there. And then with that being said, if you have any other additional questions related to sports betting, prop betting in general, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's down in the comments or on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport, and be more than happy to help you with that journey as well. But with that being said, that's all that I truly have for today's video. Definitely do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Definitely means a lot to me. I hope that each and every one of you have a great rest of your day and some pretty good luck in NBA DFS tonight.